So who qualifies for this money? Well, first, you have to be a California resident who submitted their 2020 tax return by October 15th, 2021. Next, this only applies to joint filers or families who made less than $500,000 that year, or single filers with less than $250,000. Anyone who made more than that does not qualify. Here are two examples. Families who made
To help so many people across the state. So the governor, everybody, Janet Mills, approved the distribution of the checks in April, with the total cost of the stimulus payments estimated to be around $730 million. To qualify, applicants must have lived in the state for a full year and must have filed their taxes in 2021 by October 31st in order to receive the money. Eligible applicants must make less than $100,000 annually if filing individually, or $200,000 if filing jointly, as all according to the governor's office. However, dependents are not eligible for the payments, and residents of Virginia only have a matter of days to file the necessary paperwork in order to claim the missing stimulus money. So be sure to act now and be sure to act quick in order to receive your stimulus checks. I have a ton of information about the fourth stimulus check, Social Security benefits, SSI and SSDI. There's a whole bunch of news that you have to know. After the U.S. economy came roaring back after one of the deepest but shortest recessions in history, the disruptions caused by the crisis and other world events has driven inflation to its highest level in over 40 years. And while the clip of rising prices slowed in the latest CPI index, households are still feeling the effects of inflation. The high cost of living has prompted states across the nation to approve sending tax refunds or stimulus checks as relief from high prices. I also want you to know this, everybody. If you're still waiting for a California stimulus check, you might not have to wait much longer. While direct deposit payments begin on October 7th, a second round of payments by debit card is also expected to go out this week. More direct deposits are scheduled to go out between October and next year as well. These one-time stimulus checks are known as the middle-class tax refunds. They range from $200 to $1,000, all depending on their filing status and also your income on your reported California return. So you qualify for a payment if you filed a 2020 income tax return by October, and also you cannot be claimed as dependent by anyone else on your previous tax returns. In the state of Illinois, everybody, for instance, taxpayers who earn less than $200,000 in 2021 will have a $50 check in their bank. Couples filing jointly can also get up to $100 and even $400 and $300 as well. For those with student debt, here's the latest news. The last few months have been definitely confusing. We all know that. President Biden said in August that he'd be forgiving up to $20,000 for millions of borrowers. But before that celebrating could even happen, Republicans brought a slew of changes to the policy, leaving it in jeopardy even as the application for the relief went live. So since October, about 22 million Americans have applied for forgiveness. Yet the biggest setback for the Biden administration is when the U.S. Appeals Court temporarily blocked it from moving forward. In September, the Republicans in the General Assembly all agreed that they tried to sue the Biden administration to stop its plans to cancel hundreds of billions of dollars in student debt. The U.S. District Judge has also ruled early this month that while the states had raised important and significant challenges to the debt relief plan, they ultimately lacked legal standing to pursue the case. The 8th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals also granted the state's emergency petition, leaving the Biden administration unable to forgive any student debt for now. The GOP-led states are accusing the president of overstepping his authority. The Education Department, in order to protect its broader loan forgiveness policy, has now said that borrowers need to have consolidated their loans by the end of September to be eligible. They no longer can do so to qualify. According to CBS News, an 8th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals did on Friday, and they froze the president's plan until it decides whether or not to keep the plan on hold for the duration of the state's appeals. Now, the White House press secretary also said in an official statement that tonight's temporary order does not prevent borrowers from applying student debt relief. It also does not prevent us from reviewing those applications and preparing them for transmission to loan servicers. So, hopefully President Biden can get the stimulus check sent out and out to the people who need it the most. We all know that President Biden has to do more for the American people and send out stimulus payments sooner than later.
The equity market is not representing the U.S. economy. And I would especially say that I think the tech sector does not represent the U.S. economy. So when we look at the JOLTS data earlier this week, job separations actually fell. When we look at initial jobless claims, they're very low, historically low levels. We're seeing very robust job gains in terms of 260,000 on month per average. The last time we were at this unemployment rate, we were talking about 125, 150,000 job gains. So the context is really important here. We're still adding a lot of jobs. Labor separations remain very low. Wage growth up 0.4%, up 4.7% year on year. it's a very tight labor market, and I wouldn't overemphasize what's happening within the tech sector and extrapolate that to the broader economy at the moment.
Lakshman, it seems that the Fed is comfortable with taking its terminal rate, the rate that it looks to end some of its policy pathway at, to end.
Now, millions of Social Security beneficiaries could receive an extra $200 monthly benefit boost. Several lawmakers in Congress have put forward a new legislation that would increase benefits for many seniors this year. Now, this is awesome news. A new bill could also boost Social Security recipients' monthly income by the $200 and increase the overall longevity of the program. Democratic Representatives Peter DeFazio and Bernie Sanders introduced the Social Security Expansion Act days after the SSA announced that the program was in jeopardy. The agency estimated Americans will stop receiving full Social Security benefits as early as 2035 if action is not taken. Under the Social Security Expansion Act, Social Security beneficiaries receive an additional monthly $200 check, totaling an annual bonus of $2,400. And according to CBS News, this would yield a 12% increase from the average monthly check of approximately $1,700. Anyone who is a current Social Security recipient or will be eligible in 2023 will receive the bonus check. The bill would also boost benefits for the lowest income earners in the U.S. under the Special Minimum Benefit Program. Current recipients receive approximately $900 per month. According to the SSA, the proposed legislation would adjust the rate to 125% of the federal poverty level, increasing the monthly check to an estimated $1,400 per month. Another component of the legislation is to expand the HC's fund by increasing payroll tax for some earners. Under current law, earnings above $147,000 are not subject to Social Security tax. New policy would apply the payroll tax to people who earn more than $200,000. Now, Peter DeFazio assured that the top percent of earners who would see an increase in their taxes if the bill were approved, meaning 93% of taxpayers would not see a change in their taxes. The congressman noted that expanding payroll tax would bolster the SSA trust fund, securing it through 2096. A new bill would make it so a Social Security recipient might receive $200 more per month and a 12% boost in money. The SSA has announced that Social Security benefits have gone up by 5.9%, the largest increase in the past 4 decades. And the president of the registered Social Security Analyst Group told CBS News that many seniors rely on Social Security for the majority of their income. $200 a month can make a significant increase for many people. Now, Senate Democrats have finally reached a deal in agreement to raise taxes on some high earners who say they are abusing a loophole to slash their tax bills. Lawmakers said the plan to close a tax break for those earning more than $400,000 a year, requiring them to pay 3.8% in taxes on certain income from pass-through businesses. They project that closing a tax loophole would raise about $200 billion over a decade. A source said would be used to pay for Medicare through 2031 in an effort to keep the federal health care program from going bankrupt. Without congressional intervention, the program's hospital insurance trust fund is poised to begin running out of money by 2028. Chuck Schumer and Joe